What is going on, everyone? Thank you so much for coming back today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day just to click on today's video. Today I have 3 examples of times where Hollywood was liar, liar, pants on fire. We all know the title card. When it comes up on the very beginning of the movie, it says based on a true story, and we get that whole like, I can't believe that really happened. Can you? Oh my god. You tell all your friends about it, and then you quickly find out that that's not the story that happened at all. So I have 3 examples today that you may think was true stories, but it was just a Hollywood lie. Number 1 up on the list, I have Cool Runnings, 1993, Disney. We all know the story of the Jamaican bobsled team that was brought to Calgary for the Olympics in 1988. They had their coach, Irv Blitzer, who was just trying to put together a team just to show these guys that they can do it. They make it to the Olympics. They're a laughingstock. You know, they're thrown together. The teams make fun of them. They end up crashing at the end of the movie, and they end up carrying the bobsled across the finish line, and that's how they earn the respect of all the other people at the Olympics. The only problem is that's not how it went down. Truth be told, is there was never an Irv Blitzer. They never had a coach named Irv. The Jamaican bobsled team was actually founded by 2 Americans in Jamaica, George Flinch and William Mahoney. They had saw this event going on where they were racing these box cars down this hill, and they decided, hey, that looks a lot like bobsledding. Let's put together a team. The only problem is they couldn't get anybody to join. No one wanted to do it. So they actually went to the army that was there in Jamaica, and the army forced guys to be on the Jamaican bobsled team. They had made guys be on the bobsled team so that way they could represent Jamaica in the Olympics. So they get to Calgary. These guys, they didn't want to be there. The movie portrays them as these outcasts, and everyone's just a laughingstock, and they're just made fun of the whole time. The truth is, these guys were very well received. Everyone loved these guys. They actually had to hire extra security for these guys because they couldn't go outside without getting mobbed. So the story of them being these poor guys that just everyone makes fun of, and they're the true underdog story, is just simply not how it happened. But the very end scene where they crashed the bobsled, that actually did happen. But them carrying the bobsled across the finish line, simply was not. They just got up after they crashed, and they pushed their bobsled across the finish line, and that's how it ended for those guys. Very sad because I love Cool Runnings. I think it's one of those just great underdog stories that it's a feel-good story that you love to watch. But Hollywood, that's not how it went down. We have number 2 up on the list. We have The Blind Side, the story of Michael Orr. Now, we all know this story of just this homeless kid walking down the road, and the Tuohys pull up, and they basically kidnap him and throw him in a car. He didn't know how to read. He didn't know how to write. He didn't know how to play football. Thank goodness for the Tuohys coming by and finding him. He was able, by their help, to sign at Ole Miss, and then later on getting drafted by the Baltimore Ravens and winning a Super Bowl. Just a true, amazing American story. The only problem is, that's not how it went down. Michael Orr actually came out and said that he hates the way that he was portrayed in this movie. That they portrayed him as this illiterate, can't read, can't write, doesn't know how to play football. And the truth be told is he actually knew how to do all that stuff. He already knew how to read and write. He was actually already a star athlete before the Tuohys even found him. So, the fact the movie made it portray like he didn't know anything about what he was doing, he had to learn it all, and then became this overnight success, was not how it went down at all. You have the famous scene where Sandra Bullock is fixing up his room, and he says, I've never had one of these before. And she says, what, room to your own? And he says, no, a bed.
Never had one before.
What, a room to yourself?
A bed.
Another fabricated story that Michael Orr actually spent a lot of times in foster homes. So one of the foster home requirements is they actually have to have their own bed. They cannot share a bed with anybody. Even if they're brothers, they cannot share their own bed. They have to have their own single bed. Now, a lot of things have went on since this movie's came out. There's stuff still going on right now as we speak. That they're still in battles with Michael Orr and the Tuohys as far as financial gain from the movie, that Michael Orr saying he didn't receive any of it. And the Tuohys have not been fully truthful as well. They said in a lot of interviews that they ended up adopting Michael. They actually set him up on a conservatorship in order for the NCAA not to come down hard on them, because they knew Leanne and Sean, their alma mater was Ole Miss. So if they're harboring this kid and sending him to Ole Miss and paying for all his stuff, that would look 100% illegal in the eyes of NCAA. So they set him up on a conservatorship so that way he could go and play at Ole Miss. It is a truly sad story that, I do believe that the Tuohys had good intentions of helping him out. but I think the success of the movies kind of got wrapped up in that, and they told a story that didn't happen. And, you know, I feel bad for Michael Oher because, you know, he is portrayed as this, you know, illiterate kid that, you know, didn't know how to do anything, and, you know, he was saved by the Tuohys in order to play football, and now he's this great success story. He's went on record and said that he hates this movie. So, you know, for us, as the viewers, we all love The Blind Side, but for Michael Oher, I feel bad for him, man. Just another reason why Hollywood just stretches the truth just for financial gain. But before we get into the last one, guys, if you'd love to help support me and help support this channel, the best way to do that is just simply hitting that thumbs up button down below. If you're not a subscriber and you do enjoy the content that I put out, think about becoming a subscriber. I would greatly appreciate it. And then outside that, hit that little bell notification and select all. And then YouTube will send you a nice little notification whenever I upload a new video. That's the true story I have for you today, guys, before I get into the third one. Number 3, wow, 1996, Fargo. Winner of Best Screenplay and Best Actress by Frances McDormand. Now, the Coen brothers released this black comedy, and in the very opening scene of the movie, this title card comes across. And it reads, "The events depicted in this film took place in Minnesota in 1987. At the request of the survivors, the names have been changed. Out of respect for the dead, the rest has been told exactly how it occurred." The only problem is, none of that happened. So, there's only a few small things where they took stories from other stories and put it all together. Fargo tells the story of this hopeless car salesman named Jerry that has his wife kidnapped and held for ransom to extort his father-in-law so that way he can make some money and that way he can be his own man. You know, things go south very quickly. His wife ends up getting killed. You know, you have police involved in this. It's just a story that it's a great movie to watch. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a great movie. The only problem is it's completely fabricated. You know, the Coen brothers, they actually made this film, and they have actually said that they put the true story title on there because they wanted to be in the true story genre. That this is not a true story at all. There's bits and pieces of this that is true, based on true events that happened, but it did not take place in Fargo, North Dakota. The wood chipper scene was actually pulled from a story from Connecticut that Hella Crafts was killed by her husband and thrown into a wood chipper in 1986. Now, Richard Kraft was the first person in the state's history to be convicted of a murder, and they didn't have a body to prove it. There's just a lot of weird stuff that takes place in this movie that just never happens, that sent the town into a frenzy. You know, you have the scene of Steve Buscemi trying to bury the suitcase of money on the side of the road. That never happened. That was completely fabricated. But people in this town actually believed that there was a suitcase of money that was hidden on the side of the road. So, for many years after this movie came out, people were driving down that road searching for money. Just digging random holes, just trying to find this money. Something else that's just a weird, strange thing about this movie is, if you know the victim in the field, whenever the movie takes place, when they find the victim in the field, and that's when the story picks up, and they start telling the story from there. But if you look at the list of characters at the very end of the movie, the victim in the field is listed as the symbol for Prince. And Prince had nothing to do with this movie. So that's just something else that I don't know if it was just a fun little thing to throw people off, but it's kind of funny to me. But yeah, 1996, Fargo. Like I said, it is a staple in cinematic history. I love that movie. I was very sad to find out that it didn't really happen the way they told it, but I'm okay with it. I appreciate good cinema. Let me know, guys, in the comments, you know, which of these three was you most disappointed about, to hear that it was not based on a true story. But, guys, I would love to do a part 2 of this video, so drop me some feedback in the comments down below. Guys, that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you go follow me over on Instagram. I have it right here on the screen. Shoot me a message over there if you have a video idea or some type of review you'd like me to check out. I would be glad to do that for you guys. But that's all I have for you guys today. Mom, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys. Hey, if you want to watch another video, click here. If you want to subscribe, click over here. As always, thanks for watching, guys.